A good afternoon to all of y'all. It is currently dark outside here in South Dakota. That's why I don't have the garage door open. But we're going to give you a little update on the Maverick X3. Got a couple mods, nothing serious. And we popped a tire. And I'll get into that in just a second. However, let's go into what we've done. With the front end of the vehicle, I adjusted the suspension. So it's not going to be noticeable from your point of view. And I won't even be able to show you. But I've made it so the rebound is going to be a little bit slower. It came stock very fast, and it was a very comfortable ride, but having it at a little bit slower rebound just makes it better. And if you guys want a tuning video of this vehicle, I'll give it to you, just let me know. And starting with the tires, in the front, they're still obviously the A-ply stock tires, but they came in at 22 psi front and rear from the factory. And before, I'll actually show you the video in a second, but before I took air out of the tires, my family and I were just ripping around some trails in South Dakota, and we absolutely just destroyed the back tire. There's a gash about that big, and I'll show you the video right now. Okay, so you just saw that video and you could hear that gas just whooshing air out. And I'll bring you to the back in a second and show you it. But I lowered the front PSI down to 16 and the rears we got down to 15. Now, that's a very low PSI for most vehicles, but our Ram 1500, you've got, I think it's 30 or 40 PSI in them. And for these tires, they're smaller and you want them to be low just because if you have a rock, and it's, okay, I'm going to give you a little vision. A tire, you know what a tire looks like. If you have so much PSI in there that nothing can move it, then it's obviously just going to puncture because that air inside of there that's trapped has nowhere to go, and it won't compress it, so that rock doesn't go anywhere, it just goes straight through it. If you have a lower PSI, that rock, when it hits it, that tire will just fold over the rock and not be so hard that it just goes straight through it. So, I suck at giving illustrations, but there you go. Second thing, I don't know if you can see it very well, but a windshield. This is actually a polycarbonate windshield that is motorized. So this, from here to here, will come all the way up to about a 90-degree angle with the vehicle. I absolutely love it, and when you're driving down the highway going 60, 70 miles an hour in 40-degree weather, it's frigid in that thing, and I can handle cold. But it is very cold without a windshield. This windshield blocks all of the wind, makes it such a more enjoyable ride. And when you're on the trails, lift it up and you'll have that beautiful breeze right in your face. And I've learned that if you just crack it, that dust that normally gets stuck in there just because normally the air would be pushing all the way through, and we do have a rear windshield by the way too. But as the wind pushes all the way through, that dust just gets sucked out. Well, with both the windshields, that dust just sits in there and vortex this. So if you open this windshield about that much, get enough airflow to get all the dust out, and it makes it a very enjoyable ride. So let's go ahead and head to the back of the vehicle and I'll show you the punctured tire and the rear windshield. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to go handheld for this just because this Ram 1500 is in the way and I can't actually get a place to put my camera. So we're going to leave that to be handheld. If you guys want a video on this Ram 1500 Longhorn Edition, I would love to make a video and I'll, give you the ins and outs of that vehicle. It's a really fun car to drive. Back to the main thing. So these windshields, again, this is also polycarbonate. This cannot be removed. It actually can be just by these up here. If you just unvelcro those, this whole thing can be lifted out, and there's some Velcro straps down there. And this is straight from the Can-Am factory, and we put it on Took about 30 minutes. I didn't film it just because I didn't feel like filming that day. So yeah. Now coming down to the back rear tire where we punctured it, as you saw in that video. I was actually sitting in the back left seat right here, and one of my friends, she was driving. So this is what we fixed. This is all of the, I forgot what it's called. What is it called? All the tire plugs that we put in there. That is a big gash, and you can just see we absolutely stuffed it in there. It was a last resort trying to just get back. And this tire is, at a good PSI that I like. I like to have it just sitting a little bit. Could be a little bit higher, but we're going to replace this tire tomorrow, most likely. So yeah, you can see that gash. That's about, I don't know, 1.5 inches. And for a popped tire, 1.5 inches is a lot. And yeah, so for the rear suspension, we have it set up also the same with a little bit slower of a rebound. It is slower than the front just because I prefer to have the rear sort of, sit more down when you're in the turns and not just instantly pop back up. Gives me better traction on trails. So again, license plate's off, but normally we have a license plate on there. But for the sake of the video and for the sake of my editing ease, take it off so we don't have to edit that. And after a couple trail rides, everything is looking beautiful. I've washed this vehicle twice now, and it's really good. So I'm going to show you a couple things that I learned about this vehicle while driving it and looking around. So starting off, I absolutely love what Can-Am did with the suspension. So this is a expensive suspension setup with these Fox suspensions on them, and you have this little plastic guard up here, and I don't know if we can actually get in there, but it's pretty beefy, and this blocks a lot of rocks from hitting it as you're flying down a trail. And you don't want a rock to be hitting this just because obviously it's expensive and it can damage this, either the springs itself or the suspension in there. And yeah, another thing I loved is these huge suspension arms. Now normally your suspension arm would be coming from inside there and out, but what Can-Am did on most of their X3s actually and Mavericks is they have it coming from way up there and mounting back there, and your suspension is mounted to this also, and you have a little safety bar here that goes with it and just keeps it safe. Now one thing that I wish Can-Am would do, or I guess it's the factory that puts them together, big shout out to Rice's Motorsports here in Spearfish, but I wish they would cut these zip ties. So I have a little bit of OCD, and to me this and this just bothers me. Like, I know no one can actually see it except me if I'm paying attention, but it just bothers me. It hangs around and it gets really hot back here, so I know they're not gonna melt, but it just bothers me. So I'm gonna cut those off in a second once I stop filming this video. But so far, that's the only problem I found. And see, they cut this one up here, but I don't know why they just wouldn't go all the way down and cut those. That's sort of really petty of me, but it's okay. Anyways, let's go. So again, suspension, I adjusted this. It's actually really easy. You can just take a little, I used pliers because I didn't feel like going to get a tool, but just adjust that to what you feel like doing. And a big thing is when you're doing this, please, for the love of God, please, I beg of you, do the same exact rotations. If you do 3 rotations here and 2 rotations on that, to you it might not feel different, but trust me, it is different. It is different. So if you do 3 here, I did 5 turns. I did 5 turns on that. So yeah. Interior, one thing I've learned, there's not a lot of storage. So we have ordered from Can-Am a roof rack that's going to go up here, and we're going to have the spare tire mounted back there, and then a light bar all the way up at the front, and I cannot wait for that to get in. Also, still waiting on some sound stuff, which is going to be mounted up there, and I'm really excited for that. Anyways, the only storage there is that little pocket, which I keep most of my phones in and stuff when you're riding back here, and then that up there, and I'll open that for a second and show you how little storage there is actually in this vehicle. Moving over to the left side of the vehicle. This actually is carbon fiber, which is really cool. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the initial review, but these seats have carbon fiber on them, which is really cool. Anyways, opening this up, we have some napkins and stuff when you get dirty, and Cooper's dog bowl. But there's really not that much space in here. So this dog bowl is about the size of my hand, and it takes up, almost an 1/8 of the thing, and yeah, just doesn't have a lot of storage. So getting more storage is a must. And then I just realized this too. Look at that. That is not tightened down. There's a gap. So one thing I do love though is the cup holders. So if you have 4 people in here, there's 4 cup holders, and I'd love that. Most of the vehicles I've driven in only have 2 up front or 2 in the rear. There's really never ever 4 cup holders. So yeah, these handles really comfortable to hold on to when your friend is driving 70 miles down a trail and she's a scary driver. So really fun to have those back here. These chairs also are extremely comfortable to ride in. So I'm gonna show you guys this this windshield, how it opens in a second, but I'm gonna show you the cockpit and what we've done in here. So coming in here, there is some more switches. We actually got some new headlights and tail lights that have a blinker on them. Now these blinkers, horn, flashers is not mandatory in the state of South Dakota, but we got them just because when you're driving, normally you'd be like, oh, going this way, and there's hand signals like going to the left, obviously, and then right, stopping, and yeah. Anyways, we got those, and this is for the windshield up and down, and we only actually have one more spot that we can put something to, a switch. So don't know what we're gonna put there. Maybe, actually I'm assuming that's gonna be the light power. So yeah, actually I got 2 more complaints about this vehicle, but this door closes solid, but when you're driving, it just makes a bunch of noise. And I'm gonna try to get a video later on, but it makes noise. It squeaks. It squeaks, and it's just kind of loose even back there, and it's not really a good time, but not much you can do about it. It's a side-by-side, it'll make noise. Another big complaint, I don't know if you guys saw me reach for it when I was discussing these, but Can-Am, I love them. I'm gonna be a Can-Am for life, but come on guys, what kind of line is this? Like, it fits, but what kind of line is that? And I've noticed this all over the vehicle. So if we actually come out, that door just closed really hard. Like, okay, this isn't technically Can-Am, but that's not straight. That's not straight. And what? Like, that's not even symmetrical. That gap is not supposed to be there. Over here, that's not symmetrical. This actually is nice. This is actually a fuel, by the way. So, for those of you who are like, where do you put the fuel in? You actually just lift that off, and it's right there. And this thing takes premium fuel, and then it pops right back in. This thing takes premium fuel, so it's not exactly cheap. But, Can-Am, come on, we gotta do better than this. This is just... I'm gonna have to come back out here and tighten it down, which kind of sucks for me, because I got stuff to do, but... yeah, this, come on guys, we can do better than that, but that bothers me. Let's go ahead and get inside of the vehicle, grab the key, and I'll show you a couple of the mods that we did. Let's go. Just grab the key, and these keys are kind of cool. They're like magnetic, so yeah. Anyways, another shout out to Rice's. If you guys want to hit them up in Spearfish for some vehicles. They got beautiful motorbikes, dirt bikes, and obviously Can-Ams. So pop the key in just like that, and don't hit the brake, but hit that, and this lights up. And it locks, actually it seals. I don't know if you can guys see this, but seals. I absolutely love this windshield. Moves beautifully. It's smooth, and these things hold up so well when you're going down the trail really fast. So we'll do blinkers. I love these headlights that we put in. They were a little bit more expensive, but I love them. Just that like sort of sequential look to them. Absolutely beautiful. So cool. And on the rear, you have sort of a plain tail light, I mean, but still really cool. And you obviously have flashers and your horn, which I'm not going to honk because it's very loud. But that is really cool. And this windshield is, again, the first thing I would ever do in getting one of these is a windshield. It doesn't have to be motorized. It can just be a regular polycarbonate windshield. And for the rear, but these windshields are really, really nice. So, yeah. Take that key out. And hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys did enjoy it, go ahead and drop a like. And if you're not already, subscribe to this channel. That'd really help us out. And make sure you got those noties on, because I'll be posting a couple more videos, not just on this vehicle. Got a couple archery videos, doing a competition, and got some fishing videos lined up for you. So, finally glad I got back into the swing of things with this whole YouTube thing. Got a little bit of things figured out. Life's been kind of stressful, but, you know, it's life, and we're living it. And, you know, speaking of stress, you know, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a Christian, and if you don't like that, okay, you don't like that. You can either unsubscribe from this channel, which I'm completely fine with, or, you know, you can continue watching these videos, and we can all live happily ever after. But, yeah, I would just like to say that thank Jesus above, and for everything he's done for me and my family. He's blessed us being able to, you know, own these vehicles and enjoy what God has created for us, and I'm ever thankful for him for that. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, again, like and subscribe, and be prepared for some new videos. Be prepared for some really, really fun times in this vehicle.